you don't want to, like I mentioned earlier, look back and say, dang, I wish I would have and I could have and I should have.
What I heard was your dad, so he was the one that introduced you into music.
Honestly, dog, I feel like I hit the lottery when it comes to friendships. I really do, man.
How has the growth been?
Growth requires brutal honesty. Like brutal honesty. And you shouldn't be more honest with anyone than you are.
Truth in the air, let it speak.
Welcome back to another episode of Creative Roots Podcast, where seeds sown become visions grown. This episode is sponsored by Charlotte Podcast Studio. So shout out to Charlotte Podcast Studio.
I would like to thank us.
Yeah, I would like to thank us for doing what we do.
That's right. That's right.
All the credits. So as y'all can see, I got Shamar sitting beside me.
I'm
so
in
y'all
the
know
building. What's going on, man?
What up, though?
Hey, glad to be here.
That means something special about to take place, right?
Yes, indeed.
So what we're gonna do is we got a young man here, all the way from Dallas. Can I say young man? Are you?
Yes, he's a young man.
He is a young man.
We're all young men out here.
Huh?
We're all young men out here.
I'm grown, almost.
Come on, man. Listen.
Anyway.
As Tay say, my brother is here. So you done had a couple of your brothers on here. Yes, and it was time for me to get on camera to introduce y'all to mine. He came all the way from Dallas. His name is AC. Yeah. This is a musician, recording artist. I mean, the man is multi-talented, you know what I'm saying? And we'll get into some of those things. But listen, AC, we appreciate you being here, man. What's going on?
Thank you, man. Thank you. Happy to be here, bro.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, no problem, man. We appreciate you coming all the way out here,
Of course,
yeah, listen,
man.
When he hit me up, because, Tay be telling everybody to hit us up when they want to be on the episode. Yeah. I thought it was virtual. I was like, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We do the virtual thing. He was like, nah, I'm coming in person.
Yeah.
Now, that's love right there. And I'm like, yeah, let's get it.
I had to, man. I watched Longtime Supporter from afar.
Yep.
So it was only right, man. I had to pull up, man.
For sure. So how is it? What you think of it?
Bruh, it's nice, man. It's nice in here. You know what I mean? I got to come out here more often, man. For real.
Thank you.
Love it.
Yeah, man. Come on back.
Definitely.
Come on back. We ain't got into the episode, but I can tell you, we going to have you back for another one.
Believe that.
So, yes.
Believe that.
So, Shamar has already introduced you.
Yep.
I'm going to let Shamar ask whatever his questions want to be today. And then I'll just jump in when I need to. You know what? Let me stop you right there. I got one question. So this name, listen, I don't be playing. I got to get to this. So my question for you is, okay, how did you come up with your name?
Man.
You wasn't ready for that one.
Well, I get that question a lot.
All the time.
Yeah. Yes. It's a name, man, that stuck with me since junior high, bro. And I'll tell you off camera, what it means.
That man cold. That's what it is. AC, air conditioning. Coldest brother I know, man.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a name, man, in middle school that stuck with me, bro. And that's what it is.
Okay then. So, Creative Roots Podcast, we go all the way back.
So I don't get not one question.
You don't get no questions yet. No questions yet. Go ahead.
No. You got to go for it.
All right, fine then. So, Creative Roots Podcast, we go back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. So, the question is, what was the first seed planted that got you into this creative space as far as music goes?
That's a great question. Ever since I could remember, I've always been drawn to it. Used to love watching Michael Jackson growing up, you know what I mean, and on TV. And my dad, he's a great singer. You know what I mean? My pops, he cold. And man, when we was kids, he sung the national anthem at Mavericks games, Texas Ranger games, and we got good seats. You know what I mean? We would do that. Mm-hmm. So I've just always been enamored, with it. And in high school, I was in a group called Dream Team.
Dream Team, okay.
Yeah, man, and my dogs, Mike, Skyler, DJ Trill, Trey Mills, Mook. Marstar, and we just had a little moment in high school, man.
Was that about 7 people? How many did you list?
Well, yeah, I know, right? It started off with 4 of us, and then it kind of expanded.
Yeah,
but
kind of like our group.
Okay.
Yeah. And so did that in high school, And just one of those things, man. It always stuck with me, but ever since I was a kid, man. Yeah.
Okay. You got it.
So, because Tay always discusses how, the earlier on, the seed planted. So what I heard was your dad, so he was the one that introduced you into music,
Yeah, I think he was the first one that I saw personally.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That was doing something with it. Like we all see people on TV, but just, seeing my pops like live and seeing them get to do cool stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess it made an impression on me.
Gotcha.
I always kind of had a little knack for it.
So when did you realize, because you said high school, you had a group and everything, when did you realize that you actually could write? You could?
I think just like playing around, like with friends and my cousins, we just rap and freestyle and stuff like that. And then people was like, that wasn't bad, People say that wasn't bad, and then people say, oh, that was good. And then people say, oh, that was cold. So, I just hearing stuff and, getting feedback and, you got to know what you're good at and you got to know what you ain't good at.
You got to know what to keep pursuing and know what to just go ahead and leave alone.
Exactly.
I need people to understand that. Now, I will say this. If you're going to pursue it and you're not that good, pursue it with purpose. Pursue it with passion. If there's no passion there, don't just be pursuing it. That's for y'all. I'm looking at him, but that's for y'all. Okay, go ahead. I'm going to digress. You already know.
Yeah.
So, I heard Michael Jackson. Who was some of your other influences?
Yeah, big fan of Mike. I love Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
James Brown. Usher.
Yeah.
Jay-Z. People like that, man.
Okay.
Big on them.
It's a good mix. That's a good mix.
Yeah. And but I'm all over, to be honest, though, man. I love the Bee Gees too, to be honest. Like, I like disco. Some people don't like it, but I listen to the Bee Gees, man. I listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire. I listen to Alicia Keys, a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to fast forward us a bit because we talked about you getting started in high school and stuff. I know your first project you dropped in 2020, so a few years after high school. I ain't gonna hold you.
A couple.
But how did you get to that point of like, yo, I'm gonna put a project together. I'm gonna put something out there.
Yeah, man. I just take, you mentioned passion a minute ago, and it's something that when you feel it, when you identify it don't leave. Whatever you're passionate about, the things that if we're lucky to point them out, it's there. You know what I mean? Like what y'all done, what you've done with the studio, man, with Alan Lux, it's incredible. You know what I mean? I remember when you started and seeing where it is today. So, just that passion. I think that around that time of 2020, I was like, I didn't want to always wonder. I wanted to see, like, you know what? Let me just see what happens if I try. I don't want to be. If I don't do something, I never want it to be because I was scared.
Yeah,
it got to be for another reason.
Right.
In 2020, man, that's like why I started. We ain't had nothing else to do anyway.
Right. We was in the house
chilling. So it was me and my boy Q the music, and we always talked about it. So what better time to when everything else was taken away. So that's why it came to be in 2020.
Good stuff. Yeah, I like that, and I talk about that as far as when it comes to do it. You don't want to have that regret, live with the regret of not doing it. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, do it. Because my photos was trash in the beginning. I loved them back then, but yeah, looking at it now, it's like, yeah, I've come a long way. You know what I'm saying? So, but what if I never did, or if I took that first one and was like, yeah, this ain't my thing because I ain't good at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I would have gave up instantly because all my first pictures was just white.
Man, I love to say, man, the first one's always the worst one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And but we stick to it.
Yeah, that's the one I hold on to though too. It's the worst one, but it's the one that that birthed, you know what I'm saying, everything that came after it. So you got to cherish that too. You got to embrace that beginning, but that beginning be rough.
It's some songs, man. I listen to. I'm like,
right,
man, rough.
I listen to some of mine. Well, I can't listen to them now because I don't have a CD player. But my first songs is like you can tell I'm reading my lyrics, so monotone. And I mean, I'm already tone deaf, so I can't hear any of that. But yeah, them first songs is like, and I'm like, yeah, we ain't never gonna put them out. Then that's when I was, cussing too. So we not gonna go there either. We never gonna put them back out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
What was your first song? Do you remember?
That I put out? That I wrote?
The first
one that you wrote that you know.
I do remember.
Okay.
It just hit me.
That last piece, it was bad, y'all.
Yeah.
That's what that means. That last piece, it was
Man, it was this song, man, I did with some homies, man, and oh my goodness. I don't even know what that song was called. We was just on there rapping. You know what I mean? Just we kept saying like we went off. Some went off. Some went off. And some went off. And I had my verse on there and I did my thing. And at the time.
Y'all recorded it?
Yeah, we recorded it. Okay. If I can find it, I'll send
find
it
that thing.
probably still on MySpace somewhere. Probably still on MySpace.
Something like that, man. So yeah.
So ask me music questions and stuff. You know music way better than me. We're gonna get into your project. You just dropped the project too. We're gonna get into that, but I want y'all to talk about that music stuff y'all
See
be
how
doing.
he over here delegating stuff? See, this is why we keep him behind the camera during these episodes. So listen, you say you dropped the first album 2020. You've been doing music since high school, right? We ain't gonna put no dates to it. We're gonna leave that alone. So were you producing your own instrumentals and things like that? Or you were just picking up whatever instrumental you could find at the end of the, I don't even know when they did it, but they used to have like the singles, right? You had the song, then the instrumental, then the acapella. Was y'all taking that? Or were y'all actually out here already producing them?
No, man. We would find instrumentals online and, do that. Early on, it was whatever song was on the radio, you know what I mean? We grab that instrumental and do that. And then
They was on Napster.
Napster. Oh, I remember that.
They was on LimeWire. Let me get that.
Yeah, and then when I started doing my own stuff around 2020, I didn't do it personally, but Q, he's like my right hand man with the music. Q, he real cold, man, with the beats. And, he'd cook up stuff for me, and we just work hand in hand. So
his name is Q the Music.
Yeah.
Q the Music.
Yeah.
You see what he did there?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Sir.
So Q, he starts producing, and you basically just pick up whatever he got, and then y'all basically have a partnership. He produced this whole album.
See You Outside, he did majority of it, but there was two that he didn't do. So the intro was done by a producer named Sick Brick, who I worked with a couple of times. Shout out to Sick Brick. He also did 469. And then the one with Deontay, Me to You, the remix.
Yeah.
That was Deontay's song. I love that song. And, Deontay put that out a couple years ago. And I always loved it. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, man, like, can we do a remix? Yada, yada, yada. So obviously Q didn't do that one. That was, somebody else. But all the rest of them Q did.
So let's talk about See You Outside.
What
was the title itself? Because, everybody's saying, we outside. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you said, see you outside. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, man, it has like a couple meanings. But the biggest reason for that title is one of my brothers, man, named Kay Crandon. He threw an event, first annual We Outside event. And it was a huge block party, like festival vibes in Dallas, in the Dallas area. And, just to show him that I was like lockstep with him, I titled the project that because he asked me to perform at the event. So the event was just a few weeks ago. It was in May. But in January, he reached out to me and he said, hey, man, I'm putting on this event called We Outside. and I would love to have you perform. And I was like, of course. You know what I mean? Of course. Then I got to thinking, and I was like, man, I ain't put out music in a long time. I was like, man, it's no way I'm gonna be performing songs that's 4 years old.
Yeah.
I can't do that. You know what I mean? So I was already sitting on some stuff. I've been procrastinating, dragging my feet, and that really gave me the incentive to like really get in there, lock in, and get it done. So that's the main reason I called it "See You Outside." Is just to show my dog I was lockstep with him, give his event like a little more energy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then too, it's just like "See You Outside" is just like man, I'm about movement. I'm about action. You know what I mean? Like everybody got opinions nowadays. Twitter, IG, like you name it. It's just opinions. But it's like who's doing it? Who's outside? Like I'm not gonna talk. I'm gonna just see you.
Yeah.
I'll just see you outside. You know what I mean? Or you gonna see me?
I like that. I like the whole play on that. You know, his event called We Outside, he asked you to perform. Okay, I'll see you outside. And to your point, get out there and just see me do the work. And plus, it is dropping right at summertime too, you know, and everybody outside in the summer, you know what I mean? So I see what you did there. You was cooking. You was cooking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Cool. Now, I know you listened to the project.
I did.
And you already told me, well, it may have changed because I think that was day one. You told me what song that was speaking to you. Has it changed? What song is speaking to you?
Well, because I'm from the South, V6 is mine right there, dude.
V6.
Just the hard hit of that drum and the way the whole instrumental is put together.
Yeah.
I'm in that upbeat, crunk type of music.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what. Yeah, that was high school for me right there. Yeah, y'all don't know who that is? Go sit down. Just watch the episode. Google it later. But V6. Is,
why you always telling them to go sit down?
Because I don't want them standing up watching this. They might be walking or something.
They outside. They can stand up.
Well, if they outside, stand up, jump around, jump up, and get down. You know that song. If you don't know that song, I'm
go sit down, watch the
episode. All of that. But yeah, I like the whole album.
Thank you, man.
And I like the what's the word? I don't want to say variety because, well, we're gonna go with variety. I like how the album isn't one-sided. You know, it is going through motions and stages of being outside. You know, you got your intro, and that's kind of like you get up and you getting dressed and everything. And then I can't remember what the next song is. I think that's Flow.
Yeah, flows.com.
And you flowing straight out the door.
Yeah.
You know, you hit the album and you're not waiting till the end to give them the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then V6 sound like, you know, we just riding, cruising, but we out here, you know, getting it. And then right after that is BLACK.
That's my song because I'm black.
Me too.
And that song hit for me too. I liked the one where you said Deontay. I like the whole album, honestly. And I don't say that about everybody project. And
He don't actually.
I really don't.
Yeah.
You should have heard the conversation we had the other day. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But some people can't craft an album and be lyrical and be an artist all at the same time.
Yeah.
And I listen to a lot of music.
Yeah.
I get sent a lot of music. I get sent DMs and I'm like, yeah, you're going to stay in the request folder if I don't delete it first. But that's just me. You already know who I am. Listen, if y'all don't know who I am by now, I don't know what to tell you. At the end of the day, the album is dope.
Thank you, man.
And it gets played for me. So I'm gonna give you kudos on that one.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I love V6. That's one of my favorite songs I've ever done.
Okay.
I love Black. Definitely one of my favorite songs. And like I get a lot of great feedback with Black.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And V6 too. You know, Q did both of those. Again, shout out to Q.
Shout out to Q.
Shout out to Q.
Yeah, man. But nah, you know, V6, man, that song is about exactly what I'm saying. Like, never been afraid to take a risk. You know, like that's what it's all about for me. And I think that's what it should be about for anybody that has, you know, a goal, aspirations, and visions in life, it's like, don't be scared, man. Like, what's on the other side of risk, man, can be the thing that change your life.
True.
So I love that song, and I got a car a couple of years ago that I really love. You know what I mean? I always wanted that car. And it's, you know, it's a V6. First time I had a V6. So, you know what I mean? Like that's why, you know, I named it that. And I got it as a result of, you know, taking a risk, like rolling the dice, and stuff paid off for me. And I was able to get like a car I always wanted. And then Black, it's self-explanatory. I don't really got to go into that too much. Sure. I can't say personally if I have a favorite song. I think right now I really like Energy a lot. And that's actually my pops on that.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pops.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Yes,
Pops.
indeed.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, is that you singing on some of them songs?
Yeah,
It's funny you said that because I was thinking, I was like, okay, AC, he's singing a little bit. That was your dad.
My pops.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah. So that's probably but I really like, you know, the whole project, man. Like you were talking about your first photos and how you kind of,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Kind of, yeah. I typically feel like that in the past. I feel like that when I put out music, but with this one, is the first time I really enjoy the whole thing, and I don't really, you know, cringe or anything like that when I hear stuff. So I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I'll say my favorite right now maybe Energy.
Okay. Now I liked how you described the project. You walked us through it and everything. And when you said V6, you was like, yeah, at this point now you're cruising. He got a track named Cruising. That's still one. I love that song, man. So it's to me, because it's 3 projects total, right? This is the 3rd one?
Yeah, Miracle Volume, AC4Ever, and See You Outside.
Yeah, so Cruising, that's a dope one for me. Yeah. And I literally would be in the car, I would turn that thing up, cruising. Yeah. I rocks with it.
Yeah.
So and your style. Talk to me, explain how you would describe your style of music.
Yeah. So like Tay touched on, I wanted to show variety on this. And a big thing for me is not trying to sound like everybody.
Yeah.
Cause you know, it's a lot of, you know, I could have easily got on there and been like, I'm coming and taking your chick.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's a million of them. You know what I mean? So I've always wanted to do my own thing. I always wanted to march to the beat of my own drum. So, you know, my style is it's just me. You know what I mean? I don't I don't use the N-word in my music because I don't like when people use, you know, they don't look like me.
Right.
I don't like when people use that word that don't look like me.
You know, okay, I'm glad you said that because there was this conversation. It was a pod I was listening to.
Hey, real quick, just wanted to say thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Creative Roots Podcast. If you are a creative and you're interested in being a guest on this podcast, feel free to send a DM on Instagram or TikTok, and you can find us at creativeroots.podcast on both, Creative Roots Podcast on Facebook, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Back to the episode.
I'm glad you said that because there was this conversation. It was a pod I was listening to, and they were discussing, you know, the N-word and stuff. And there's somebody who was Latin that was using the word. And the guy was saying, because they were from New York, and it was like, you know, in New York, we all do it. They was giving examples of like Fat Joe and stuff like that too. But then the other guy said, listen, our music influences the world. And when you put that in the music, it opens the door and not necessarily gives permission, but it puts it out there for others to be able to use it. So, yeah.
100%. You know what I mean? And I'm mindful of that. Like, I recognize that, you know? So, me personally, since I don't like it, I don't do it. But, you know, my style, man, is just, it's just me. I don't know. You know, like, so like on the intro, you know, it was just kind of like, I feel like it kind of set the tone, kind of eases you into the album. And then on flows.com, I just wanted to rap. I just wanted to show people like I could rap. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to be as punchline heavy as I could. Just it don't really got. It's not talking about anything. It's just like I'm just rapping. You know what I mean? It's braggadocious. Like I can do that. And then Me to You with Deontay. It's a feel good song. It's a dance song. Like ladies, you know what I mean, can dance to it. You know what I mean? If you're with your girl, whatever, your significant other, you know, you can just groove to it. You know, he's carrying the song. It's his song. You know, V6, like you mentioned, that's more of a structured song. So like on flows.com, it's no hook, it's no nothing. I'm just rapping. But V6 is like very structured. It's hook, you know, verse, you know, a little bridge in there too. You know what I mean? Breaks, all that. So I wanted to show
you know what all that stuff mean? The hooks and bridges and
Yeah.
okay, go ahead.
I'm there. I got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Over my head, but I get it.
Yeah. So I wanted to show like song structure with V6. And then Black is more of an anthem.
Yes.
You know, and then Energy was a bit more, a little vulnerable. You know what I mean? But it's a love song. So, you know, I just wanted to show the range of what I can do, man. And I enjoy all those things when artists do it. So I want to, you know.
I need to go back, Carter. I need to go back to Energy. You know, well, we're gonna go back to the top of the episode when you said that your first impression or your first exposure to somebody personal was your dad in music. Right. So how did that feel having him on that track, y'all working together? Is that y'all first time working together? Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, we did way back in the day for something that he worked on.
Okay.
But man, I was mad young and but yeah, I always say the first time in a maybe 10 years or so. But it was great, man.
Okay.
You know, I wrote that whole song and I just asked him to sing, you know, the hook on it and do his thing, and you know, it came out great.
Y'all was in the studio together?
Yeah, we were.
Okay.
Yeah, we were. So you know, you have an idea in your head, you never know how it's gonna turn out. And it's nothing like when an idea comes to fruition, it's like, okay, cool. So yeah, man, shout out to my pops. But that was dope.
Good stuff. Shout out to your pop. Shout out to Q the Music. Yes, Deontay?
Deontay.
Yeah, because I actually like that song too. Yeah. Now we got to get into the creative roots bag in the sense of we talked about the seed that was planted. You know, how did you get nourished and supported through the process, your creative process? What was that support look like to help push you to get to this point?
Yeah, that's real.
Did I do a good job?
You did all right. I'd voted it better, but you know.
Go ahead, man.
I don't know, that's real. Man. Honestly, dog, I feel like I hit the lottery when it comes to friendships.
So
I really do, man. You being one of them.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man, I have a great group of friends, a great family, great people that support me. It starts with my siblings, I would say. Super close.
Okay.
I got two brothers and two sisters. And then from there, you know, just it when other people can remind you of things that they see in you, it could change like everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like life is life for everybody. You know, we all doing the best that we can. We all making it. And some days we either kind of take for granted what we have, or we forget, you know, talents and gifts that we have, or, you know, maybe we could stop believing in ourselves, just to be frank. So sometimes, man, having, you know, your friends and family along the way to remind you, like, no, you got it. Like, I can't do what you do. You know what I mean? Like, you got a gift. Like, God gave you something, man, that he didn't give me. Right. You know what I mean? And it's not always about like being, you know, world renowned and things of that nature, but just being reminded that, man, something that you can do, if it can affect and change one person's day, their life, their month, whatever, man, that's worth it. So, you know, that support that I get and that I've had from, you know, my family and friends has been, you know, it's been everything, I would say, man. Like, I have belief in myself, but it definitely gave me that extra push to like really put my foot on the gas and keep going. And the story with See You Outside, like I said, my boy, you know, even asking me to do, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. You know, it's just I got countless stories like that of people just putting a battery in my back and helping me keep going.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Are you looking at me? I was waiting on you to ask the next question. Yeah. So you got a huge support system from what I'm hearing. Yeah. From this support system, how much negativity have you had to deal with? And this is like, I'm talking about from the very beginning, you know? So I'm gonna let you answer that question before I go to my next one.
Yeah, well, I'm a G, so people know not to try me. You know what I'm saying? Certified. Nah, man. Nah, jokes aside, it's been smooth, man, for the most part. I can't front. Like, I done had maybe, you know, a couple, you know what I'm saying, a couple of negative, you know, interactions. But man, for the most part, it's been smooth, man. Like, for whatever reason, you know, I don't give that energy out, so maybe that's why it don't come back to me. But
right.
But it's, you know, the more people get exposure to you, I'm sure that, you know, to come, you know, the more people that find out about me and learn about me, it's on its way. But up to this point, man, so far so good.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I don't know why Shamar keep looking at me.
I can't look at you.
No, don't look at me. Let me see. So you've been doing this for a minute. How has the growth been being in this space? Because I mean, you don't do something like this for a minute and only, you know, have friends and family as fans or support. So what does that growth look like from penmanship to, I wish they sit down over there, from penmanship to, yes, it happened, to delivery, to choice in instrumentals, things like that.
The growth. I would love to hear y'all's as well after I answer, if that's okay.
Not the guest asking the questions too.
If it's not okay, it's not okay.
No, you good.
But you know, man, the growth for me has been very intentional. So growth requires brutal honesty.
Yes.
Like brutal honesty. And you shouldn't be more honest with anyone than you are with yourself.
True.
So, you know, I listen to my own self sometimes. And if it's hard for me to listen to it, I say, why is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I pay attention to songs and music that I do like. And I'm like, why is that? So I just do my best, man, to like really take the time to learn. You know, things that I don't like that I've done, I correct it the best that I can, seek out other people's help, collaboration. And I feel like the growth and jump with See You Outside from the first two is pretty significant. I feel like the first two are pretty comparable, Miracle Volume and AC4Ever. But I feel like See You Outside is like a big jump. I feel like those first two, they had spots and moments where it's like, okay, that was cool. Like, that was nice. Like, but with this one, I feel like I figured a few things out, and I feel like it's apparent. So, you know, the growth is huge. And too, you talked about penmanship. A big part of it too, man, is just like, it's just doing it. Like, sometimes you want to sit and wait till you have the inspiration and like when it's clear and it's like, man, okay, I got it. It's like, no, man, like I'ma just write. And this may be like the most basic thing you've ever heard, but I can scratch it out though. And I can say, okay, well, I like this word. Okay, how can I rearrange this sentence? How can I rearrange these two lines? How can I rearrange this verse? So like motion, man, like I think that like that's the key. Like, versus, you know, getting it perfect and getting it right. Just go. And then refine it. Just go, then refine it. Go and then refine it. That's been it for me.
So something that I always tell my brothers, right? The older ones, the younger ones, anybody that's writing is write where you are. WRITE, where you are. Because even in the midst of stress, depression, anxiety, whatever it is that you're going through emotionally, that's a feeling. And what do we normally write? We write what we feel. We write what we want other people to relate to or understand, or what we want them to know. So you saying that is something that I know I tell a lot of people that do write. You know, just like with Shamar, he's like, you're not gonna get better at taking pictures if you're not taking pictures. Absolutely. I tell people you can't get better at shooting video if you're not shooting video. It doesn't matter what it is. But like you say, if you're being intentional about this growth, then you have to do something, you know, because like I said on my episode, like I told you, I sat in the house for a whole year holding my T3 out like this, watching YouTube.
I saw that.
Yeah. And then got mad. Ain't nobody hiring me. Nobody knows you have a camera. Nobody knows you do this. So, you know, it's like I get people that be like, hey, I do music, and I'm like, where's your music? You know, oh, let me come up there, man. Let me work with y'all. I do pictures and video. And where your pictures at? Because your Instagram page don't look like nothing but selfies of you and whatever you're doing over there at the club or in the park. Like, if you're going to hone in on your creativity, hone in on it. Yeah. Stop playing around. Do it, because at the end of the day, you're the only person that has that control. I'm gonna digress from there.
So was that your answer to the question? Or you was piggybacking off of that? Because remember, he asked us to answer the question.
Both. I'm piggybacking and answering the question. Like, so growth for me, I went from writing with a pencil to writing with a pen. Because like I said, when you write, if I'm writing with a pen, I don't have time to be in the booth reading, and then I got to skip 3-4 lines of scribble scrabble to figure out where I'm supposed to be. This is going to have to happen. You work on your cadence, you work on your delivery. Again, like I said, I'm a little tone deaf, so I have to know where my vocals or what my voice needs to sound like internally. Again, being tone deaf, to know, am I going to be a little high pitched with this one, or am I going to be, in that lower octave and just have as much bass coming out of me as I possibly can? You have to know, again, like you said, what the end result is. When you have that, what's the word? Inclination. Am I using that word right? Yes. It sounds right. When you have that inclination, you have that thought, you have to go. Like one of the biggest things for me was I was already reading the dictionary. I forgot to mention that in my episode. When I was on the bus, my grandma was the bus driver. I would just read the dictionary. That's how I was able to get more into doing poetry and actually, as I got older. And that's why sometimes I use bigger words that most people don't use, because I'm growing. I was in 10th grade and I was forced to take 2 English classes. It was like a 2-class English class. And man, that lady, she told us to write this essay. I'm going left and I'm coming back.
Oh, thank you.
She told us in the class, she said, write the essay. Write an essay about da-da-da-da-da. So I'm like, I bet. I pin that whole thing down. I make it sound real good. I hand her my paper. She said, you're done? I said, yes, ma'am, I'm done. You're done. I said, yeah. I went to go sit down. I put my head down. Next thing I know, all I feel is this. She coming back. So teacher, I like the teacher. One of the only ones I didn't cuss out in school. She came back. Yeah, I was rough. She came back with my paper, sat it on my desk. She walked away. And I'm looking at it like she ain't put no grade on here. She came back with them big old ugly cow tongue erasers and erased the whole essay. And one thing she told me that has stuck with me forever: I know you can do better than this. I know you. Older white lady, I know you. I don't care what you do outside my classroom, but I know you. You're not stupid. I know you can do better than this. She erased my whole freaking paper except my name and the date and went to go sit back down. And everybody's like, oh, like the whole class just sat. And they like, she about to get cussed out. Monte about to flip a desk. And I was like, all right, you want me to do better? Watch this. I rewrote the whole doggone essay and I was still done before everybody else. I sent it to her. I sat down. She said, Monte? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, this is what I need from you. Don't give me anything less than this from this day forward. That right there was something else that pushed me to make sure that my vocabulary grew, and not just grow to say that I know big words, but to grow and know that I know what I'm talking about. So I think that's gonna sum up.
I forgot the question. No, I'm joking. But I like that though. I like the fact that you got that lesson, you know, and I like the fact that she was, you know, intentional in demanding more, you know, the hard truths. That's kind of what you were speaking to earlier too, you know, be honest about it. So that's dope. For me, growth, I'm gonna sum it up. You know, I ain't gonna go left. I'm gonna stay right here.
No,
I'm gonna sum it up as audit your circle. You know, we talked about this yesterday off camera, in the fact of understanding the room that you're in and those around you. Is that still the same place you need to be, or do you need to shift? You know, and that's been my strategy in growing over these almost almost a decade of doing this whole thing. You know, Tay said I have to say a decade.
You gotta say a decade.
Yeah. So, you know, throughout this time, it is just evaluating who's around me, how we're working together and everything. And do I need to shift? Do I need to change anything around that? And I will say that my support system has been great, you know, as well, just helping push that growth forward too. So, yeah.
Like the audit your circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that is definitely a necessity, because what they say, if you're the smartest man in the room, leave the room.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been leaving a lot of rooms. I've been leaving a lot of rooms, and you know, you get to that point where people are like, "Oh, you don't call nobody no more," because I'm tired of talking about what we did in high school.
Right.
You
For sure. I don't want to talk about that.
you don't come around no more. I mean, I don't smoke or drink, and I haven't done that in my daughter's
2 weeks.
So you said 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Nah, it's been longer than that. It's been
2 decades.
Yeah, it's been almost 2 decades that I have not smoked or drank anything, you know. So I don't need to be in the same room as some people. Now, if you trying to grow and you trying to learn something, I got you. But that's just me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna digress because I know I'll go left again.
Yeah, because the next thing is, so we understand how the seed was planted. We understand how it was watered for it to grow. Now it's time for you to plant the seed for the next. So what would you say, any creative, whether they're a musician, artist, you know, somebody just in a creative space or has a creative mind, what would you say to them to help encourage them to do?
Yeah. I would say you gotta identify what you want. You gotta have a target. A lot of people have great aim but no target, and it starts with that. And you have to be bold in that. You have to be fearless in that. If you want to be a dentist, for example, don't pursue a dental assistant. Like, pursue what you really want to do. Like, really identify and be honest with yourself.
Shout out to your orthodontist too. Them teeth looking good, brother.
But yeah, man, and you know, I would say after you identify what you want, like, understand that everything has a price. So when you identify it, like, go into it knowing that, you know what, this ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna cost me something, my time, some money, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, what do you want? How bad do you want it? And what are you willing to do to get it?
And that goes back to that risk factor you were talking about too.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to take a risk in order to move. You know, the risk of, you know, the negativity.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do that. I don't think you should. You know, it goes to knowing what you want to do and not listening to everybody else's opinion about it. You got to take that risk. You know,
You got to.
you take a risk going to buy that little $2 notebook to start your first rhyming book.
Yeah.
You know, you take a risk to go get FL Studio. If you're trying to be a producer, you take that risk to say, I'm gonna pursue being a dentist or a lawyer, and know what the cost of that risk is going to be at the end, not at the beginning. Like if you get ready, you about to put out $100K in school loans, student loans. No, you can't get to 98 and be like, you know what?
Yeah,
I don't think I want to do this no more. You're there.
See it through.
Set that goal, like you said. Know what your end goal is and pursue it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, man. I couldn't agree more. And and just do it because you love it. Don't rely or depend on external validation. You know what I mean? Like just do what you love to do and do things that you feel give you purpose in life. You know, everything else will work itself out. But when you play the game of like external validation, man, you'll drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's another piece of advice that I would give, creatives. Just do it because you love it. Do it because like everybody should ask themselves, like, what am I here to do? Big or small. Like, what am I here to do?
Yeah.
And get to it. So, and then you can end up with $100,000 on your wrist.
On your wrist.
This ain't $100K, Yeah, man. So that's what I would say.
So I like that. Now, also taking that a little further, and maybe some of what you said still applies, but for the creative that's in a rut, they're getting stuck. They have writer's block. They had some blockage. You know what I'm saying? How do you encourage them? And I'm a kind of force your answer a little bit because you said something powerful about time. So I want you to kind of lean into that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Time. Oh, man. Time is so important. It's like today's the youngest we're ever gonna be.
Absolutely.
Like everything we can do today, we're not gonna be able to do at some point. And, you don't want to, like I mentioned earlier, look back and say, dang, I wish I would have and I could have and I should have. But to the people that are stuck in a rut, something that really helps me is when I get out of just thinking about myself. When I start thinking about, okay, if I do well in this area, my family's life could be impacted. My friends' life could be impacted. Like, man, somebody can be affected in a great way when we live up to be our greatest, when we live up to our potential. You know what I'm saying? Don't just think about you. You know what I mean? We all go through things and we all have doubt and writer's block and stuff like that. But this ain't about just you.
Yeah.
It's about your mama. It's about your pops. It's about your brother, your sister, your niece, your nephew, your kids.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you feel bad for you, cool. But do they deserve that?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think mine do. I love mine. So, that's something that really helps, man, get me up and going, like when I'm in a rut. Because, man, like you said, Shamar, man, time ain't waiting for nobody.
Nobody.
This can be the greatest year you ever had. This can be the same year you had last year, or this can be the worst year you ever had. But it's up to you.
It could be your last year. Yeah.
It could be your last year, man. So, man, like, take advantage, man. Like, don't count the days, man. Make them count. So,
Like that.
yeah.
What you got?
I got nothing.
Man. I love this space. I know I said it already, but I really love
Appreciate
this
that.
space.
Appreciate that.
And, just seeing it online.
Yeah.
Time, but seeing it in
Here,
person, man.
you're in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's state of the art, all this. I ain't never seen all that, bro.
Yeah.
It's like y'all can't see, but it's like 10 cans. You know what I mean?
And the lights and everything.
All that.
But speaking of that, that's that growth thing too, because 2 years ago, this setup, bruh, it was right upstairs, and that little T3i that he was talking about, he was holding, that's what we were shooting on. So yes, the growth, having that mega desk and this entire setup, everyone is impressed when they see it. And that only speaks to the growth, but if we wouldn't have did it 2 years ago, started with that trash 2 years ago, we would have never been at this. You know what I'm saying? So
shout out to y'all, man. It's incredible.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We appreciate it, man.
For sure.
Definitely appreciate you coming down all the way here. It's a quick flight, 2.5. But still, man, he comes from the great state of Texas.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate y'all, covering the flight, first class.
Right.
You know what I mean? Reimbursing me for
Listen.
Thank you, Tay.
Listen, that's a Shamar thing. Shamar, run them receipts for this man. Get that man what he need. Listen.
Yeah.
But all the way from Dallas, though, man, we greatly appreciate that, man, because funny enough, and I'm not throwing no shots, I'm just speaking me.
Oh.
Sometimes it's a little difficult to get people right down the street to come here.
Yeah.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Yeah, I let them loose. But anyway, the thing for me is you want people to know what you do. That's part of that growth. Yeah. And if, like with Shamar says, I see what you can do. But when you're on the inside looking in, it's like, I can't do that. I don't know why he keeps saying that. Like, Shamar be like, Tay, this is dope. And I'm like, that's the wackest thing I've ever. He's like, no, it's really not, because I'm stuck in my head. So I'm gonna digress from that to say, for you to come all the way out here from Dallas, and even with L Croc coming from Philly, you two had a commitment to be here, to let the world know what y'all do, and to share your gift, not just with us here in the studio, but to everyone that's going to watch these episodes. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that speaks a lot of volume, because you travel, and it's not like you came from another city. You came from states away.
It definitely wasn't Dallas, North Carolina.
It definitely was not.
Y'all got it down?
Yes. Yeah. It's only like 45 minutes away.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it's hard to get people. I'm not going to say it's hard, but I understand people have
what
schedules.
He said, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But go ahead,
because I mean, I know people that are doing things, and I know people got schedules. We got wives, we got kids. Some of them, they have husbands and kids and da. But you don't have an hour to promote yourself. Yeah. So I'm gonna digress, because somebody about to get mad.
So I just want to
appreciate it, brother.
I'll just take that over and just say, please tell these people where to find you and where to find your music. See You Outside is out. And then I want you to give them just a final thought.
Okay, which camera do I look at?
Oh, that's yours right there.
Right there? Okay, all right. Yeah, so thank y'all again. I appreciate it, Marte. See You Outside. It's streaming everywhere. Tidal, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. What I miss, Pandora. You know what I mean? You name it, man. But yeah, man, I'm also on IG. I'm on socials. Got a TikTok too. I ain't really got into it for real, but everything is the same. AC, the number 4, EVER. Find me there, man. But yeah, this is just a start, and just keep putting out music. I'll keep doing my thing, and appreciate y'all, whoever rocks with me. Appreciate you rocking with me, and hopefully new people that just found out about it. Hope you appreciate what I'm doing. And yeah, man, we're gonna keep going.
Good stuff, man. So listen, y'all know this had to be special. This is my first time on the show. Tay talk about me on every single episode, but yeah, I had to get on camera for this one because this meant a lot to me. And again, thanks for coming. And I think I'm done. I don't know if you got to close us out, but I just want to say I'm gonna see y'all outside.
Yes, sir. See you outside. I'm gonna see you outside too.
Well, this has been Creative Roots Podcast, again, where seeds sown become visions grown. Greatly appreciate y'all tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, go check out this man's album, AC4Ever. See You Outside. Chime in, hit him up on all his socials. Again, this episode has been sponsored by Charlotte Podcast Studio, and we are out. Peace.